Since the Amarillo Zoo Cryptid is all over the news lately, I figured I'd give a shot at debunking it. My first thought when I saw the photo was, that's a furry. For those of you who are unaware of what I'm referring to, furries are people who dress up in animal costumes and attend different events. So I looked up a few costumes online and quickly noticed the outfits generally had wide legs, where our cryptid seems to have very skinny legs. However, these costumes aren't fully onesies. They can be worn with just a headpiece or gloves. So now we have the problem of gauging the size of our cryptid. We don't have much to go on in the photo other than the fence, but this fence can range anywhere from 3 feet to 10 feet in height. So I did a little digging and found this other photo of the Amarillo Zoo. I was able to see the fence line in the photo, and while I'm assuming it's the same perimeter fence, it does have the same barbed wire topping, so I think it is. Now we have the same problem though. We can't tell how tall it is. The building in the back seems to be roughly 8 feet based on the door to the right, but that's just a guess, and we don't know how far away the building is from the fence, so it could be 20 feet or 50 feet. Then I looked at the kid, but he could be anywhere from 3 to 4 feet tall, and again, not too sure how far away he is from the fence. But that's when I noticed he's covering up a trash bin. The bin looks less than 10 feet away from the fence, and I figured, good enough. I looked up standard public trash bins and found them to be roughly 3 feet or 91 centimeters in height. Since the bin is within 10 feet of the fence, I decided to clip it out, shrink it down by 10% since something closer to the camera is going to be larger than something further away. I then duplicated the trash can, stacked it next to the fence to gauge its height. I gauged the fence to be roughly 8 feet tall before hitting the barbed wire, which would make sense for keeping people out and animals in. Now I did the reverse on our cryptid. I clipped it out, increased its height by 10% since it's further away from the camera and anything further away is going to be smaller. Stacking it next to the fence, it gave me a surprising 4 feet or 122 centimeters. This is pretty small for a human, but not unheard of, and my calculations are ultimately guesstimates, so they could be as tall as 4'6" or 138 centimeters. I then took this lovely lady here, who struck a similar pose, slapped on a wolf costume head, and placed her into the photo, resizing her to the height of our cryptid to see what that would look like. Now, with the blurry image of the creature, it's hard to tell which way it's looking, but to me it looks like it's staring directly at the camera. You can see the nose, the outline of the eyes, and the ears poking up top. The sizing of the arms and legs are similar to my resized Betty White, which makes me think I could be onto something. My buddy Paranormal Nate on Twitter made the astute perception that they seem to be holding on to something in their hand. It's nearly impossible to tell what, but very few animals and creatures use tools, which makes me lean towards human. Lastly, because the creature seems to be staring directly into the camera, I wanted to know why. Trail cams can often give off a light when taking infrared photos, so I looked into spy point cameras, and from what I can tell, they all use invisible light on their trail cams. So it's not lighting something up and looking over to see what's lighting up. Now, because we're at a zoo, maybe there were some animal creature noises or movement, and it looked directly at the camera to see what was over in that direction. But again, we don't know. Is this a promotional stunt to get some attention at the zoo? 'Cause if so, it worked.